If you've already seen the Creating a Basic Report video, you will have seen a brief overview on how to schedule reports. And in this video, we're just going to go into how to schedule reports in greater detail. So as normal, if you click on the Modify Report icon, it'll bring up the Modify Report window. Move over to Scheduling, and as you can see, there are no settings set for scheduled reports. Let's have a look at how often you can set the scheduling. You're able to schedule a report for once, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. Apart from once you've set the report to come out on a scheduled basis, it will continue to do so until you turn off the scheduling. So to start with, we're going to pick hourly. By default, we can see that they're set to come out Monday to Friday, 10 AM to 6 PM. And what will happen then is this report will come out every hour between 10 AM and 6 PM. But you don't have to have the report to come out on the hour. So for example, if I wanted my report to come out at 25 past the hour, you can just simply change the run at minute field. So let's have a look at daily. If you want your reports to come out daily, you might not want them to come out 7 days a week. So you can select what days you want them to come out on and what time on those days you want it to come. So you can see here, this report would come out Monday to Friday at 9 o'clock every day. Have a look at weekly. When we're looking at weekly, we can now only specify what day of week it's to come out and at what time. Moving on to monthly, it allows you to specify the actual date every month that you want it to come out. And again, you can specify what time of that date you want it to come out on. So I'm going to roll back to a weekly report. And I'm going to have this report coming out at 9 o'clock every week. So the next thing we get to do is choose what format we want that report to come out in. And we can choose PDF, RTF, which is rich text format. So for example, you would be able to open that document in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. And then of course you've got CSV format, which will allow you to open it in a standard text document, or more commonly in a spreadsheet application such as Microsoft Excel. So I want this to come out as a CSV every week, and you can also set your language and your paper size. Moving on to the advanced features, the first one is automatically calculate duration when scheduling reports. To best explain this, I'm going to change this to hourly. Bearing in mind that the time frame for this report is actually set to this week, what would happen if this is ticked is, because this report is going to be scheduled every hour, each hourly report will only be reporting on the last hour's data, even though the time frame of the entire report is set to this week. If you didn't have the automatically calculate duration box ticked, then the data on the schedule reports would report on the this week time frame and increase by an hour on every scheduled report. So in essence, you would have the data from this week's report up to present on an hour-by-hour basis. The next advanced feature is bundle all email attachments inside a zip file. And what this would do is, if you had multiple reports to come out at 9 o'clock on a Friday evening, rather than receiving an email with multiple attachments, it would combine all the reports into a single zip file, so you only got one attachment. And then finally, we've got run and collate with similar periodic report schedules, and that is, if you have a number of reports that run within 5 minutes of each other, it would run them all at the same time and then email them all together. And just something to bear in mind that if you are exporting as a CSV, there are different formats you can export as, and you can select these by going over to the Advanced tab and dropping down the CSV export format selection. And from there you can choose one of these options. So once you've done that, your reports are scheduled to go. And one final thing you can look at is the schedule status. So you can see when your next report is due to be emailed, and you can also see when it was last run. And as usual, if you want any further help, just press the F1 key.